In the not-too-distant future, wars will no longer exist, but there will be Rollerball. This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 129, Rollerball!
Superman.
Hello and welcome to the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 129, where tonight or today, wherever you're listening to and watching this, we will shine our little spotlight on the 1975 dystopian science fiction plus sport film that is Rollerball. I am tonight your host, Paul Hawkins, and as mainly forever, I am joined by
Brett Summers
and
Damien Hicks.
Well done, you remembered his name.
Yay.
But before we start looking at the actual film in question, we have to go through the normal waffle of, has anyone been up to anything interesting? Brett, I'm going to talk to you.
Okay.
Anything interesting?
Yeah, not been too bad. Mock exams at school.
I said interesting.
I know. It's interesting for them, but it's interesting for me. Also, I am officially a ninja now.
Well, not a typical ninja that everyone's got in their head right now. You may want to explain what you might mean by
I
being
have
a
an
ninja.
apron which says ninja on it. That counts. And a ninja grill thing.
Yeah, so 10 years after everyone else, you finally got yourself an air fryer.
Well, you know, now it's most normal people can afford one.
And what do you think? Interestingly enough.
Chicken, half an hour. Witchcraft.
You can't cook anything. If you've got your chicken in there, that's it. You can't cook anything
No, I've
else.
Yeah, you
So I
can.
got
Got two
two.
sides.
So have I. But how big's your chicken?
Well-
No, but no, forget it. Because I spatchcock a chicken before I cook it, which makes it bigger and wider.
Yeah, I don't have sex with chickens.
Well, okay, so
anymore.
You got a food ninja thing. What? Anything else that's interesting apart from cooking a chicken?
The Christmas tree is up.
Jesus.
Yeah, we too have.
Yeah, exactly. That's who we're celebrating. Thank you for bringing him up. Amen.
Yeah, we too have got decorations and the Christmas tree up now.
Fuck's sake.
No, I'm not going to go against Shell. If she wants to put decorations
Hey,
up, I'm
it's not
more than
mine.
happy with that. And to be fair, I love Christmas.
Yeah, I was like, is it a bit early?
It's November.
I was like, no, well, to be fair, I said that we can do anything because it's Halloween, firework night, and then we can celebrate Christmas. And I don't know about you, but Halloween to firework night was very, very, very quick this year.
Well, we had multiple Halloween parties in the diary. And whilst she was putting up the tree, no one else is allowed to touch it, obviously.
Yeah.
But we had... Is it a family tradition now? I'm not sure.
It's your family.
But we had Advocaat and lemonade, which we only drink every
Hang on, who's we?
Shell and I.
Oh, I was going to say,
Yeah, Connor was absolutely pissed.
don't think it's a family tradition then.
Oh no, we used to have it when we were kids at Christmas time. And then we used to, as we got older, have brandy and baby shams.
Yeah. Then when they got
We
to
were so
10
classy.
When they got to 10 years old,
Yeah.
No, 8.
It's Jack Daniels.
Actually, I remember, what's the Nick Nolte film where he's the Down
Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
That's the one. I remember being a kid. Parents were obviously in bed because they'd been drinking all day. But they left the brandy and baby shams out for us, well, me, because my brother was out having life, just to drink. And I remember watching that film, just getting absolutely hammered on brandy and baby sham. Fantastic. Anyway,
childhood memories.
There's an insight into the psyche.
and we had over 50 trick-or-treaters this year.
Really?
wow. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I saw the video of you watching them on your
Yeah.
CCTV.
I don't know how many we had. I just put Frank the Butcher skeleton out there with a bowl. I had to top it up a couple of times, so we must have had quite a few.
Of course, you wouldn't actually interact with people.
No.
We
Hell no.
I'm trying to think now. There were some good costumes. Yeah, a lot of princess witches.
Yeah.
And I've forgotten what there was now, but there were actually some really good ones. There was a kid in like a dinosaur outfit. That was really cool. And when I opened the door, he did a big roar.
Cool.
So I gave him 2 sweets.
Right, Damien, what have you been doing? Interesting.
Hosted a Halloween party.
I was there.
It was messy. Didn't go. Oh, I don't even know what time the last people left. You were the last people to leave. What time did you leave?
I think it was about 4:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasted the next day.
It was a quiet day in the Hawkins household. Shell didn't actually come out of the room that whole day and night. I didn't see her until Monday.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I can't blame you, really. If I could have got away with that, I would have done.
Yeah, there were kids to look after
Yeah.
and feed and stuff. Well, to be fair, I did use Dr. Domino's for the for the feeding that day.
Dr. Domino's.
Well, it's like when you can't remember something and you find it, you go to Dr. Google. Dr. Domino's is there when you want to eat but can't cook or
Yeah,
can't be
that's
bothered
fair
to cook.
enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's about it, really. It's taken me a full... Well, up until last... What day is it today?
It's Tuesday.
Sunday.
today.
Sunday was the day we finally got everything down.
It's
all
Friday.
the
Now-
Halloween
now
stuff
you can
down.
put up the Christmas decorations.
No, we can't. No, I'm not having it.
Okay, so I too was at that Halloween party. Really good. Really enjoyed it, by the way.
I've heard
Everyone,
great feedback. Wish we could have been there.
yeah, but you weren't.
I know.
Everyone, I think, made a real good effort of their costumes, apart from your brother, maybe. I didn't see what he was wearing.
I think he was a vampire for a very short time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the only photos I saw.
That sounds like a cool costume. A vampire for a short time.
Yeah, then we staked him. Yeah, but everyone looked really good. So, yeah, I think it was a really good evening. Cool, okay, that's enough waffle.
Yeah,
let's
thank God
waffle
for that.
some more about films or TV that we've been watching. So,
Oh,
Brett,
yes.
let's come to you.
Okay, lot been watching. Finally got to the end of Agatha All Along.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in here. I, too, have watched all of Agatha
Okay,
all
what
along.
did you think?
It was all right.
I really liked it, and when it's one of those ones. If you go back and watch it the second time,
I don't want to watch
I think
it
I was
second
saying that you spot all the other things. There's a lot of detail in it that is really obvious that you missed the first time because you weren't looking for it. Then when you see it the second time, you're like But I felt they kind of didn't land the ending because it was almost like it became like an origin story.
Yeah.
And now we need to see what happens next. So there wasn't basically it was like no one went with great power comes great responsibility, but it was almost like that, and then you want to see what happens next.
I feel like they've done or doing what they've done for a lot of the other series, and it's kind of a damp squid or whatever. What's the saying? Damp
Squib. Not squid. All squids are damp. They're in the water. They're always wet.
Well, not when they're out of the water. But it's lackluster's the wrong word. There were some good performances. in it.
Shit. Maybe the word you're looking for is shit.
No, but that's the problem. It wasn't shit, which might mean there might be another season. It was actually all right. It's just
It was very, very clever, but it didn't end.
But
It didn't have an ending.
I
That's
don't.
the thing.
But
It
I think
didn't-
that's their whole intention.
Yeah, but normally they can end the story. Like most other things have ended the story, and then it's kind of like, especially when they've introduced new characters, it's like, okay, so that problem's solved, but I wonder what could happen next. Whereas this just kind of went, oh, we've done that, now let's go and do this. And you're like, well, we need to see what that happens, because you haven't really explained.
But that's what I mean. It's a bit.
Kind of explain where the song came from, I suppose, but that was about it.
Yeah.
And man, they want that song to be a hit, don't they?
Oh, yeah. That was almost like running up that hill.
Is it in every episode in some form or another?
Pretty much, yeah. Okay, so that's Agatha all along.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else before I move on to Damien?
Tulsa King, I have seen the end. Oh, no, sorry, I haven't, because there's one more episode for season 2. It's one episode longer than the last season. And
This is Stallone one, yeah?
yeah, and this is Stallone's best work in many, 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 many years. And I think I mentioned before, I still can't believe after all these years, and it never even crossed my mind, that Stallone as a kind of mobster guy, which is probably the role he was typecast to play all his life, never played it and steered away from it and did everything else but as an Italian American, or whatever he's supposed to be, or how he acts. And but like, yeah, it's brilliant in it, and it's really good. The supporting cast is really, really good, and it's very much you get that Sons of Anarchy thing where you feel you're clenching your fist because it's getting tense. You're waiting to hit someone, and then what you think's going to happen doesn't happen, and he's often smarter than the average bear. So you think, oh, he's about to get stitched up here, and then matey from 4 episodes ago who lent him a tenner comes back, and you're like, oh, that's why he was in it, and it all makes sense again. Yeah, you should watch that, Damien. I think you would like that. It will fill your Sons of Anarchy void.
Okay.
Tulsa King on Paramount.
It is on Paramount, yeah.
Okay, Damien, what have you been watching?
What have I been watching? I'll start with The Devil's Hour Season 2.
Oh, I'm looking... go into it, but don't...
I won't go...
overdo it,
Yeah, no. So it's pretty much... if you watch the first series, it follows the same format. Timey-wimey.
Is it the same people?
Yeah. So it literally does follow straight on from Season 1.
Because she's a cop at the end, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're following the cop version, but then you're also following the not cop version because it's alternate reality.
Yeah.
It's convoluted. They've chosen an odd MacGuffin for them to be trying to stop. It just seems a bit random.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they have to do because obviously the first season was setting out the scene and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's equally as good as the first season was. If you enjoyed it, you'll enjoy this one.
Season.
Cool.
But I wouldn't.
My worry was once you worked it out, was there anywhere else to go? That was
there is because you got the kid.
Well, that was
hasn't been.
They put that spin on the end of it with the kid and
that's still ongoing. I'm not supposed to be here.
And that's iPlayer, isn't it?
No. It's
Atlantic?
Paramount.
Amazon.
If you let me speak, man.
I'm trying to guess.
It's not. It's Paramount.
Oh, Paramount. Cool.
Well, it could be. No, actually, I think it's just Amazon, plain Amazon, not Paramount. I get confused now because I've got them both, and it's all in the same window, same GUI. So, yeah, I'd recommend it if you haven't watched the first season. I'd watch them. Yeah,
it is good.
They are good.
Okay.
And as usual, it ends on a cliffhanger, so there's going to... Well, I think it was already announced it's going to be a Season 3, but there will be.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, so I've been watching lots of horror films, but they're, from the past. I decided, because it came out to rent, I'd watch the new The Crow. I had a feeling I wouldn't like it, obviously, because I love the original. So this one's got Bill Skarsgård in it as Eric. FKA Twigs as Shelley, and Danny Huston, who is basically the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's loads of issues with this. First of all, it was trying to be a reboot of The Crow. It wasn't trying to be a sequel. Everyone,
We've had about 4 films already, haven't we?
But everyone
a series.
Everyone expects a sequel to be not as good as the original. But if you're doing a reboot, you've got the added pressure. You better be damned better than the original, or there's no point doing it.
I think I liked the third one, where there was a gang. I'm trying to remember.
But there's gangs and lots. Anyway.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so it's got issues. I think the biggest one is that, in the original, everyone loved Eric and Shelley. They're such a lovely couple, sweet, innocent.
I'm not entirely sure I've seen it, to be honest.
Sorry, what?
I said I'm not entirely sure I've seen it.
The Crow?
Yes.
What?
I haven't watched a lot of films.
But we've talked about this so many times. We even did 2 hours on the soundtrack, I think, once.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the soundtrack. I know the soundtrack. I'm just saying I can't remember much of the film if I've seen it.
Oh, wow.
It didn't impact me, obviously, in the same way as it did you, if I have seen it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I liked it because it had the guy who was the producer in the Doors movie. He was the
yeah,
baddie.
exactly. But that was
He's
the
got
old
a
Crow.
voice like this.
That was the old Crow. But yeah, anyway, so Eric and Shelley were a lovely couple in the first one who were murdered in a horrible way. In this one, they're kind of druggies that are in rehab who get together. FKA Twigs is part of she's been forced into being part of almost like an occult sect type thing. So she's trying to escape from that as well, but they're hunting her down because she's got something that may incriminate them. Let's put it that way. And so they go on the run. They take more drugs. They do a bit of singing because she's FKA Twigs and that's what she does. Then no surprises, they get killed. He has to come back. But you don't really care about them. You don't really care that she was murdered because they weren't that particularly nice to start with.
Yeah,
and
so you don't really want revenge because you didn't care enough to...
And they get together in about a week and are allegedly madly in love. It's like, whoa, you're not... This isn't love. Eric and Shelley from the original had, they were in love. This is some, cop-out. And also... there's obviously a big battle at the end between Eric and the bad guy played by Danny Houston. But how do I say this with not being too impolite? He's not really of the form that can give a good fight.
I don't think Danny Houston is.
You'll know him when you see him. He pops up in loads of stuff. Do a Dr. Google now. But yeah, it's like in the first one, he was a ruthless killer with swords and stuff. Danny Houston basically whispers into people's ears and gets them to kill themselves. There's no...
Oh, the guy from American Horror Story and Yellowstone.
So there's no big crescendo at the end. It's all a bit... Yeah. And they've tried with the soundtrack, but doesn't compete with the original. And Bill Skarsgård... he's just...
Are we Skarsgårded out now? Is Hollywood Skarsgårded out?
Well, they're everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah, someone spilt water on them.
It's like the Irish family. He's been...
The cause?
No, it doesn't matter. I'm going off topic. I'm doing you. But yeah, no surprise. Damien, don't see this one. Watch the original.
I just wish
what if I
someone
don't want to
went
watch either?
I'm sure...
If you're going to, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm sure the original comic, like Eric Draven was like the initial character, then like 10 issues later, the Crow would move on to someone else.
Yeah.
Because it was like a spirit of vengeance, You were wrong, so the Crow would come and you could come back, get your revenge, and then
but that's what I mean.
Move on to someone else.
But
everyone's
done
just
that.
been Eric Draven all the bloody time.
Yeah.
It's like...
But that's what I mean. Everyone loved...
It should be
the original.
Yeah, it should. The Crow should be Twilight Zone, Outer Limits. Where you see someone murdered, the Crow comes back, gets revenge. New episode next.
Yeah, a bit like Highway to Heaven or something.
In a way, yes, but
the kind of antithesis.
Maybe a bit more action packed than Michael Landon.
Can you imagine that? If like the Crow just turns up like a Sunday school, just listening to the kids' problems, and he's just got a crow on his shoulder, and he's wearing the garb. So tell me, Sally, why what happened to your daddy?
Yeah, I don't want an episode where he gets the kid a new balloon and then the Crow flies off.
Yeah, well, it's Bill Skarsgård as well, so he will have a balloon. We all float down here.
That would be a good crossover.
Well, yeah. So don't watch it. 3 out of 10, best. So Summers, another one from you.
Okay. Well, at school at the moment, we are doing Gothic writing and Gothic literature with Year 8, which is really hard because you can't do a lot and show them much because it's all 18s.
We can show him episodes of The Simpsons Halloween where they go Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, but then we've done
Frankenstein. You've got all the German Gothic horror from the 1920s. That's not rated.
Yeah,
there you go.
Still, when we've got but some of our kids are like scared of some of the Scooby Doo. We've done Scooby Doo and that, But
so you couldn't do Nosferatu or Cabinet
even I'm thinking about leaving the nursery rhyme stuff.
I can't even remember what it's called now.
Even like the Gothic nursery rhymes. But on the side note, we did do, because it's not got it's a
Hellraiser.
No, James Whale's 1931 Frankenstein.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I stole your thunder. I do apologise.
You did, but it was a good suggestion, so it shows it worked. And they loved the bit where he throws the girl in the water.
Who doesn't?
And she dies. But they totally, and I don't know if this is a new generation thing, because over the years where I've seen it, they were totally on the side of the creature the whole time. He was abandoned. He was when he killed the girl, he didn't know what he was doing. He doesn't understand.
Yeah, well, that is the point of it.
I know the point. But any old time you watch it, he's a monster, he's killed her. Whereas, I don't know if it's the new generations coming through.
Maybe it's
something
to do with the kids that you teach. Maybe they can empathise more.
Yeah, no.
Maybe they've watched Monster High and they...
No, but it was like they were just like... And when things were happening to him, they were like,
Descendants. The bad guys are the good guys now.
Yeah. Oh, look, he's trying to learn to read on his own in the woods. That must be really hard. They're all like, really like... And I was just like... This is cool, because I remember even...
The little tear rolled down your cheek.
I think it was about 4 years ago. It was one of the papers, wasn't it? When it was like, woke students even now think the creature in Frankenstein was the victim.
Yeah. I can imagine, Brett.
And it was...
Yeah, the only thing that could top this day is if they all stood on their desk and said, "Oh, Captain, my Captain."
No. Anything to do with Robin Williams, they pick you. Unless he's developing your Polaroids at Boots. That was his best film.
That was a good film.
Screwed a genie. But so that was really interesting. In the years that I've shown it, that was the most like... It was almost like I could have had Bambi on. If you were listening to it and didn't know what the film was, it could have been Bambi, because they were all totally... Oh, look, he's left him. Oh, no, this on the side of the creature. So, there's hope for humanity yet.
Cool. Anything else?
One thing, we're still doing One Piece, and everyone likes that. The anime version, I've seen all the Netflix one. I think I talked about it before. That was good. Yes. But, the anime is still an ongoing thing, and will be probably for the next 10 years.
Yeah, the kids are going to be left at school by then.
Yeah, it's going to be their parents. Yeah. They'll be parents, and it'll be their kids. On not quite, kind of a bit us, but not quite us, on Paramount as well, there's the new season of Ink Master. Highly recommended. Cool art stuff.
Why do you want to watch people getting a tattoo?
Well, it's not that. It's the drama of it, and it's like Bake Off, but with
Could I have that one, please? Yeah, you can have that one. Right, sit down.
No, it's not like...
he watches Tally, though, doesn't he?
You haven't watched Ink Master.
No, I don't want to watch it.
It's like Bake Off, but with tattoos. They're
right,
under pressure.
Okay, move on before...
But, that's really good. Yeah, try it. You like it. And what's the other one? Oh, and on Apple TV, the big one, I've now seen the first 3 episodes of the new Billy Crystal series before.
I'm waiting for that to all drop.
Have you watched any Slow Horses now that you're back to watching Apple?
Not touch it.
Okay. What's the Billy Crystal one like?
It's good, but like...
Picture paints 1,000 words.
It's a half an hour episode. Which I was like, this would be cool. But they make a half an hour episode for like 2 hours. And it's kind of... Nothing's bad in it. He's really good. He's actually acting and not even trying to do like, I'm acting, but look, I'm a bit funny too. Like it's normal Billy Crystal.
He's trying to learn from Adam Sandler, and he wants to be a serious person now.
And he does it really well.
Although saying that Adam Sandler's back to doing... What is it?
Happy Gilmore.
No, and the other one.
Yeah, the one with the voice. I can't remember what he calls him.
The model one, aren't they?
Oh, are they? I've seen him recently doing
I can't remember.
The almost Waterboy style character.
But anyway,
it's good, but it's just slow.
Okay, yeah, we get that.
And
Damien.
We'll see what happens.
Moving on. Let's see. I'll just get this one out of the way quick. On You and Drama, as they call themselves now. It's obviously been taken over, so it's not just drama anymore. It's You and Drama. Ooh. The same as it's now You and Gold. Anyway, Chelsea Detective If you like your detective shows,
Chelsea Detective.
Chelsea Detective.
Tell me
Can you
more.
guess where it's set?
Oh. No. Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so not US Chelsea, this Chelsea, our Chelsea, the original Chelsea, I guess. It's your bog standard detective drama. Nothing exciting.
Who is
so
this
I
Chelsea
can't remember the
detective?
guy's name. Adrian?
More.
Could be Adrian
Brody.
Scarborough.
Oh, okay.
It's something Scarborough. He was.
Fair.
Did you ever watch? Do you watch Gavin and Stacey?
I have seen Gavin and Stacey.
So you know
seen
Pete
them.
and Dawn.
Yeah.
He's Pete.
Oh, okay.
So that dude, he's good in it. He plays a kind of almost deadpan, not quite emotionless. At first, I thought he was playing autistic, but he's not playing autistic. But he's playing relatively close to that.
Adrian Scarborough, yes.
What did I say?
You got it, yeah.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, look at that. It's all right. It's going to fill the void when Vera comes off the air later this year.
It's okay.
Yeah. I'm
She'll
preparing myself for
She'll
that.
be in the Keeping Up Appearances reboot or something.
Hopefully they'll never do that. The original was bad enough. And I've also... I finally got around to watching Ghostbusters Afterlife. Not Afterlife.
Frozen Empire.
Frozen
Oh, I
Empire.
haven't seen that one yet. I've still got that on my list.
It's fun.
Good.
Yeah.
It's good fun. It's not earth-shattering. It's not groundbreaking.
It's just nice to see them all back.
Good. It's got that kind of thing that even though it's... Well, technically, I guess it's a sequel of the reboot, isn't it? So they don't have... So with Afterlife and also the original, you have the build-up, you have the origin, if you like. Obviously, there's no space to do that in a sequel because it's already been established.
Yeah, so it's straight in and off we go.
So it's straight in and off we go. But it is a good fun. It's a fun romp through New York.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And, the mayor's back. That's always a bonus. He is now the mayor, I should say.
Now, yeah. After he turned off the... Or shut down the...
What, the man who has no penis?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's just nice to see them all back.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to another one.
Yeah. And it looks like they all enjoyed themselves doing it.
Oh, yeah, who wouldn't?
Walter
I guess.
Peck.
That's it, yeah.
I'd love to get dressed up. And, I bet they're all trying to... Oh, what prop can I take from this movie? Yeah.
And I don't know it, but I'm working on the assumption that the backstory of the main protagonist in this one, not the protagonist, the main villain, if you like, whatever you want to call it, is probably based in some reality because that's what Dan Aykroyd would have probably put in there because he likes all this occult stuff, doesn't he? So
yeah.
Oh yes.
I'd imagine that's based on some original myth or legend type thing.
Cool.
Do you want me to carry on? I've got a couple of other things I've watched.
Yeah, go for it.
Go on then.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Not so much.
No.
I just thought there's just too much going on. It's just trying to shoehorn too many throwbacks, too many characters,
Yeah,
and too many laughs that were forced that don't need to be there.
I didn't laugh.
I laughed at some of it, and I don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, and I watch it again. Well, I will watch it again because I bloody bought it instead of rented it, so I have to watch it again at some point. But and it's not about not being as good as the original. It's just too much, too many characters, too much going on to make it. It just didn't feel coherent enough. But it's still enjoyable.
It's Halloween.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole Dietz, I've forgotten the original the guy's first name, but he's had his head bitten off by a shark and he's wandering around the afterlife.
Yeah.
There's no need for that.
No.
Just not funny.
And his picture every chance they got.
Yeah. It's like, we can't have him in the film for obvious reasons.
But that's what I said. It's almost like he was pissed off he couldn't be in it, so he tried to get him in it as much as he could.
Yeah.
Tim Burton. Like, he's my friend, I want him in this film. No, he's a paedophile.
Yeah.
But they tried, that was the one bit that stuck out to me that annoyed me, because it just kept all the time. And it was like,
I mean, you get it. It has to be referenced. He has to be referenced because it's the main part of the original film.
Yeah.
But it didn't have to have him wandering around in the afterlife and all that sort of nonsense because it just wasn't funny.
Have we got a good thing to end on from you?
No, I think that might have been everything that I've watched.
Sorry, I thought you
Hang
said
on,
you
bear
had-
with me. I thought I did, but
one more bit on that now that everyone's seen it. What did you all think of the Soul Train bit? Was that not a little bit?
Didn't like
it's not
it.
the 80s anymore.
Yeah. It just, yeah.
yeah,
I wasn't sure if that was
it's
even
just
slightly.
it's not funny.
Yeah.
But I was like, is this racist now?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say if it's not, it's close to the mark.
Well, yeah,
It felt like something Eddie Murphy would have put into one of his films if he was doing a horror film.
In 1984, that
yeah.
would have been like quite funny, and
Yeah.
the TV show would have just about come off the air probably. But however, 40 years later or something, it's I was just like, it just felt really out of place for me.
I'm done. Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was waiting to see if you.
No,
were
sorry, I
gonna end on
haven't.
a
I
high.
should have done it the other way around. I should have done Ghostbusters first, then Beetlejuice. I do apologise.
Okay, 2 for me then, and then I'm done. So, film that I managed to find eventually, Never Let Go with Halle Berry. This feels like a M. Night Shyamalan film. A mum and her 2 boys in a log cabin in the woods. The rest of humanity's being killed off by evil demons that whisper and touch you, and then if they touch you, you basically end up going crazy and dying. Unless, because they're in a magic house that's got like an incantation on it or something. So as long as they've got a bit of rope attached to them and the house, they can go off foraging for food. But it gets to a point where they start running out of food and start getting desperate. Stuff happens, and it's kind of a bits of twist and
Turns.
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. It's nothing special. The kids in it do some good acting. To be fair to them, Halle Berry's kind of wasted in it, but it's better than Moonfall, which is I think the film she was in last time. As I said, it just feels like one of M. Night Shyamalan's not good films, and it's not. I don't think he's got anything to do with it. It's that kind of feel to it, And the last thing I'm going to talk about is The Day of the Jackal, which is new series on Sky, and I think they've done something quite clever.
I've heard good
in the fact that they're dropping, I think, 3 episodes every week. So we managed to watch 6 episodes in a row. The next 3 come out on Thursday. It's got Eddie Redmayne. He plays the Jackal. It's okay. They very much try to make it a bit like Bond. So the intro theme tune is a very slow ballad, and you've got it's like the opening sequence to like The Spy Who Loved Me or something like that. I think my main bugbear about it is they've got an actress or an actor, a female actor, whatever we call them, who's working for MI5 and basically trying to hunt him down. But I just don't find her believable to do all the action sequences that she's supposed to be doing. I'll let you watch it and make up your own opinion. And also, and this is genuinely about her character. Her character's just not nice. She's just trying to get the job done. So, she's really nasty to people and suspects that she's trying to get on her side. She basically terrorizes them and tortures them. Her family don't like her because she's one of these people that puts a job first. But she lords it over her husband. You're only a lecturer. If I turn up late, people die. It's like, all right. So yeah, family don't like her. The Jackal obviously doesn't like her because he's hunting her. She's hunting him rather. I don't like her.
There's no way they're going to fall in love, is there?
Oh, they won't fall in love. No, the Jackal's got.
It's not a Hallmark movie.
I was going to get to that.
No, the Jackal's got. You're not talking about anything fucking to do with Hallmark. No.
He's been watching Christmas movies.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not having 10 fucking Hallmark movies. Yeah, so it's really good. The production value is really good in it. It's definitely worth the watch. And yeah, Day of the Jackal. It's on Sky.
Sky, cool.
Yeah, so give that a watch. I'm giving it like a 6.5. maybe a 7 out of 10 for a TV series. It's
So it'll be available through that sort of catch-up thing that they do.
Yeah,
I
it
can't remember what
already
you call
is.
it.
Yeah. But yeah, the bonus is that if you wait till Thursday, you've got 9 episodes to watch.
Cool.
Summers. Stuff that's worthy of mention. If not, we can move on.
I think I rushed it all
Small
in last
town
time.
Christmas.
I rushed it all in last time because I thought that was it. So
Okay,
it's
cool.
Okay. So yeah, that was pretty much it. But yeah, I am. The Hallmark Channel is becoming a part of our lives a lot more now and also one of the
changed.
Sky ones is now the Christmas movie channel.
It's been the Christmas movie channel since August.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I don't go that far
I
down.
almost sent you a WhatsApp to a pair of you saying...
I don't have Sky Movies, and that's a current bugbear between me and Virgin at the moment.
I got Virgin.
Yeah.
Why don't you have Sky Movies?
Well, I've never had Sky Movies because I don't watch movies. If I do, I will either download them or.
You're doing the wrong podcast.
Yeah.
But
Joking.
I then went to cancel, and they said, "Oh, if you stay, you can have this, that, and the other." And Sky Movies was on that list, so I said, "All right, then I'll stay." And I haven't got Sky Movies, so
Ooh, so they backed out on their deal.
yeah. So
And
we are
tonight
currently
we're
locked in a
sponsored
battle.
by Virgin Media TV. Cool, okay.
I do have my gig or broadband, which is what I was after in the
We're
first place,
sponsored.
and I actually don't care. But
We're
it's the
sponsored
principle now.
by Napster.
Cool. In that
Your
case,
computer aids.
we're done for this,
But
for the waffle bit. The film Rollerball was written by William Harrison, based on his short story Rollerball Murder. They didn't change that title too much. And directed by Norman Jewison, the award-winning director known for directing films which focused on topical social and political issues with the aim of bringing those controversial views in a format that could be digested by the masses. He directed films including In the Heat of the Night, Fiddler on the Roof, Jesus Christ Superstar, Thomas Crown Affair, and of course Rollerball, plus numerous others.
and the Hurricane.
Yeah, thanks, Brett.
I like that one.
Rollerball centres
there was
around...
a Bruce Willis one as well, but I can't remember what that was called now. Where he's a Vietnam
Moonstruck.
veteran. No. Vietnam.
Blind
Vietnam veteran.
Was it Blind Date?
No.
Blind Date. Anyway, Rollerball centres around the captain of a team who play an ultra-violent game similar to the roller derby, but on steroids, literally, and delves into how corporations and houses of power control the masses. I made that bet.
Ooh.
Main cast include James Caan, loads of films. We all know James Caan. Misery, The Gambler, Bridge Too Far, and of course Elf as Jonathan E. John Houseman, producer, writer, and actor of loads of films, including The Fog and Ghost Story, as Mr. Bartholomew. He may be known as Mr. B as we do some of the plot walkthrough, because I couldn't be bothered to put Bartholomew in all of it. Maud Adams, who actually appeared in 2 James Bond films, The Man in the Golden Gun and Octopussy. She plays Ella. John Beck, he was in Cyborg, 2087, Sleeper.
It was Mitch Buchanan's big brother in Baywatch as well.
As Moon Pie. Moses Gunn, again in loads of stuff like Shaft, Little House on the Prairie, as Cletus. Pamela Hensley, very famous role in Buck Rogers as Mackie.
Everyone remembers that.
Yep.
And Matt Houston.
Barbara Trentham as Daphne. John Normington, famously the voice of Scott Tracy. From
No, it wasn't. That was Shane Rimmer.
Oh, who am I getting mixed up with? Oh, sorry. Copy and paste job. Someone as Rusty, the Houston executive
He
head
was
coach.
well rusty.
Ralph Richardson, again, one of these actors that was in so many films and also productions. Impossible to list all of them. He plays the librarian.
Burt Kwoouk.
I said main cast. Again.
Yeah, but he's one of the most famous people, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not going to go through all of them.
Pink Panther, Last of Summer Wine.
Yeah, but he's only in it for like.
Yeah, but he looks older there
Yeah.
than he did in the things. He looks the same in that as he did in Last of Summer Wine. It freaked me out. Is he a time traveller?
You've never worked in the film industry, have you? Rollerball was produced on a budget of around $6 million.
Not due to lack of effort.
And despite the fact that most of the main cast were Americans, was filmed on location in Britain and Germany. Yay.
In Southampton. Yeah.
With its arena sequences shot at the Rudy Saddlemeyer Hall. in Munich.
That was good.
Rudi Sedlmayr Hall, which means hall, in Munich. This hall was selected because it was the only sports arena in the world with a near circular profile, which is also pivotal to the playing of rollerball. The film received mostly negative critic reviews, boo, but appealed to the masses and managed to gain a global turnover of around $30 million. So not bad. It went on to spawn numerous different video games, despite the fact it didn't actually, the writer didn't give the rights at the time. There were loads of basically rip-offs of the genre. There was another remake or reboot of the film in about 2016, I want to say.
I think it was early 2000, it was way before.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think it was earlier before that. I've got it somewhere.
2016 in my head, but I could be wrong. It could be 2006. So before we go walk through the plot, memories of the film, Mr. Summers.
It was one of those films where it was like, I wish this was real. And to be honest, looking at it now, it could easily be real and be on telly.
Well, that's the weird thing, because they obviously have the roller derby.
Yeah,
that
was a thing then, yeah.
But this is just another step.
I mean, we've always talked about
in the right direction for Brett.
And you yourself was like, one day Running Man will be on TV in our lifetime, and this was way before that. But again, it is something now which, is more or less. There's got to be a version of this on Japanese TV somewhere. You know what I mean? It's like, if it's not on the TV in this country, there'll be one in somewhere around the world. There must be something like this now. And like you said, we've had roller derby and that. But yeah, I just remember it for that, really. And I just remember, in my memory, everyone wore orange in the whole film. I don't know why. I've got the T-shirt somewhere, but I couldn't find it to wear it tonight. But I just remember everyone wearing orange, and it was like WWE on skates.
Cool. Damien?
It's just one of those films that's always existed, and I'm sure I've seen it, but
not before 1975.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I was only born in 1977, so don't really have that much of a memory of it. I remember I've seen it. Would have bound been on ITV or something at some point in the early hours of the morning, coming home from the pub. But yeah, always existed. No real affiliation to it. That's the word. Yeah.
Good term. And on brand. Okay, so for me, I remember watching this with my dad. I remember even the opening credits with Bach's Toccata in D minor. I remember everyone coming on.
You're always talking about that Toccata in D minor.
Up there with adagios, Barber's Adagio for strings from Platoon. It's one of those nice sequences of music that appear in films. I remember Moon Pie. I remember him, coming a cropper. I remember.
I swear that's exactly. Do you remember Youngblood?
Yeah.
When Patrick Swayze gets it in Youngblood, I swear they just nick it straight from that. 'Cause they knock his helmet out and then hit him in the back of the head but it's ice skating. Yeah. When I saw it this time, I thought, man, they stole that.
If I'm honest, I think all of the political stuff passed me by as a kid, and rightly so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I even remember looking at the sets, thinking, "Oh, that's from the future." That is, even though some of
apart from the jumpsuits,
even though some of them are actual buildings.
I
at the
think
time.
that's all fashion again now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, one thing I did, just a quick note from watch it this time around.
No, we're memories.
Okay. I'll say it when we get to it.
Exactly. Thanks, Brett.
Now, no, Brett.
Let's stick to
There's
the
a
actual
format, and we're sticking to that format.
So just you try remembering that bit. Okay, so let's have a walkthrough of the plot. Again, apologies for any grammatical or spelling mistakes. I was writing these as I was watching them. Go, Brett.
Okay. The film opens to an empty circular arena with an organ sounding out Bach's Toccata in D minor, Paul's old ringtone, rising in a crescendo to the opening title of Rollerball. Officials and crew enter the arena from ramps opening in the floor. Medical crews are prepping stretchers and the referees are testing the track and equipment is getting ready for showtime. Spectators and corporate executives start taking their seats, and the two rollerball teams, the reigning champions Houston and their competitors Madrid, ride and skate onto the arena. Houston, led by the legendary John E., as 30 Motorvision cameras show the game in all Technicolor glory for all those watching at home and around the world. The two teams line up as the corporate anthem is played. The test ball is fired and the officials give the go-ahead. The team begins circling skating in formations and the first ball is fired. We are then shown in some detail the match between the two teams as they wrestle and tackle each other, trying to get the ball into the opposition's magnetic goal. Take that, Harry Potter. Jonathan shoots but misses his first attempt. More fighting takes place and he manages to get a goal with the second attempt. It's second period, and Madrid tried to come back but miss. Madrid again regained the next ball and even score. Injured players are carried off, and the game continues. Moonpie takes down a motorcycle and gets a 3-minute penalty. Jonathan, supported by his team, jams in the ball to take the lead, and after more tackling, Houston manages to get another. Oh, what an exciting start.
So, thoughts?
I have to say, and I have actually never watched any Harry Potter films, but I was still thinking, where's the Seeker? Because even I know that, but I think, I got to be honest, the sequence, there's too much going on in the sequence for you to get a handle of what's going on.
I think that's the idea, though, isn't it? It's just chaos.
Yeah, but
and
it is, but I think what they need, and it's probably more to do with the fact that we're kind of spoilt with commentary now than maybe back in the 70s when it was all very kind of deadpan, for want of a better word. Now it's, even in football, commentary is a bit more, there's more personalities coming through in what they're saying. So that I think the commentary needed to explain more what was going on.
See, that was one of, so I had a couple of points. One, if this was made now, then the commentator would have been explaining the rules as they were going through it, particularly for...
it would have opened with the crowd cheering in, right, we're here, it's the final, blah, 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 and set the scene. Yeah, no, I think you're right there, which is about the only thing they did right in the remake.
I've not seen it, so...
The one thing I really did like, though, is love the build-up. I love the where you get to see all the stuff going on beforehand.
Yeah.
Because even the little bits like, okay, the medical crews are there, the stretchers, they're getting all the stretchers ready.
What are they for?
Yeah. And it really just jumped into the action, and you really got a feel of watching a live game. And
maybe, was it a choice? Was it like a by choice? Everyone sounds different in my ear suddenly.
Nope.
No, okay. I wonder if that was like a creative choice of, rather than we're watching it, we're there in the middle with them as it's all going,
could be, yeah.
Well, it is. That's the director's done that by having all the close-ups to make you feel like you're in the action. And there's nothing wrong with that. That works. It's just the fact that because this isn't a real game that you understand, you ain't got a clue what's going on. Really.
Yeah.
But yeah, a load of action, load of beating up, and backs to Cat Evan D minor. What more could you want?
Why did they call him Moonpie? It's a weird name.
Because it's the future, man.
Yeah, but it sounds like they should be hanging out with the Care Bears or something.
Yeah.
It's like, you've got John, you've got all these other cool names, and then it's like, and Moonpie.
Well, maybe that's it, because he's like the hard man. Oh, I mean, they're all hard, but you know what I mean? He's the one that's...
the ladies' man, because he had the tash.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
he's the macho ladies' man.
Later on.
Yeah, that's basically all he did when he was in Baywatch as well.
So it's that thing, isn't it, where if
Moonpie
you're massive, they call you tiny.
Nature.
Yeah.
Oh, itchy ear. Oh, it's me, isn't it?
It is you.
Sorry.
That's right.
Okay. As the team shower, they discuss the next game with Tokyo. Afterward, no, they don't discuss it with Tokyo. The next game is with Tokyo.
That's right.
They're on the phone to Tokyo. Afterwards, Mr. B, chairman of
Tokyo.
Energy Corporation, gives the team a post-match pep talk. Players come and go, but champions like Jonathan stay on. Every season is his, and they're running out of ways to reward him. He gives Moonpie a tablet, and he tells them that it will tells him it will give him dreams about an executive.
Being an executive.
About being an executive, wearing a grey suit and being able to make decisions. But the exec's dreams of being a great rollerball I'm with you. Yep.
You just need to read it. I mean,
I know.
Don't try and improv like he does.
I don't.
You can't all do it.
But the exec's dream of being a great rollerball is being Jonathan and bashing in faces. He asked Jonathan to see him. It's very. It doesn't matter. I'll start again. But he gives Moon Pie a tablet, and he tells him it will give him dreams about being an executive, wearing a grey suit and being able to make decisions. But the exec's dream of being great rollerballers, being Jonathan and bashing in faces. He then asked Jonathan to see him tomorrow. Jonathan and Moon Pie leave the stadium greeted by their adoring fans, all chanting Jonathan's name.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Jonathan.
I think this is where I'm going to stop here a minute. This is where UK crowds differ to the US.
Oh, yes.
So, you know, if this was like a football crowd, there'd be a song. There'd be, you know, a lot more. But
well, the only thing is, maybe they're not allowed to sing. Maybe, you know, that, you know,
you're saying that is
corporations.
There's no evidence of music at all, is there? Because even when like the parties later on, jumping ahead, they're just watching clips for Rollerball.
Yeah, I think there was. I can't remember the conversation, but there was something about. I'm sure there was like an exec of music or something.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, probably
right,
not.
actually,
I don't think there is.
Nothing that encourages.
There's no
like,
organic.
Independent, yeah.
Yeah.
You're allowed to say a name, but that's it. And the fact that Jonathan hasn't got a surname, he's just Jonathan E. You know, everything's controlled.
Yeah. The next day, Jonathan meets Mr. B in his futuristic, for the 70s anyway, office.
Was that the bit with the bits of plastic hanging down and he sits in the
It's not plastic, it's metal. It's glass.
It's glass.
Cuts his finger on it.
Yeah.
But you're probably right, it probably is plastic.
Probably,
like stuff
I can't imagine this much.
Looks like the things your grandparents used to have hanging in the back door, it flies out.
Yeah. Those funny beaded curtain things. Yeah. After a moment of silent reflection, he tells Jonathan that the executives want him out, and that he needs to announce his retirement on his special program. Jonathan doesn't want to retire, but Mr. B explains for the common good he needs to go and not interfere with the corporate decisions. The corporation took Jonathan's wife away, we discover, but that's not to be discussed. He's given a couple of days to think about it and understand it, because he doesn't understand his reluctance.
Yeah, so this is the bit where which obviously went over my head when I was a kid, that it's the corporation want him to retire. Jonathan's saying, well, I'm at the top of my game. You just said I'm a champion. And champions stay on, and you can't reward me anymore.
Yeah, we've got the big games coming up.
Yeah,
they're getting close to the end.
So I don't understand why I have to retire. And by the way, you also took my wife away from me that I'm not happy about, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we're getting
that was a decision made before Mr. B took over.
Yeah, and you need to do what the corporation says.
Yeah, it was the usual kind of the corporate speech setting them up as the bad guy of the situation, but it worked well. And what's his name? Jonathan Houseman. John Houseman? Isn't it? Sorry, who had done all the stuff with. I mean, he earned his chops with Orson Welles, so he's done it right.
He knows his way around the film set.
Yeah, and he carries it well, and you get that. He could be threatening, he could be friendly, you're not sure kind of vibe, and
at the moment his cards are close to you don't know if he's reluctantly saying, it's almost like, you gotta quit.
You can retire now, you've done it all now, you've achieved all you can, you don't want to keep getting bashed up and getting injured and that. Go off on a high, you're winning. It's all kind of, we give you whatever you want, basically, isn't it? It's sort of, you're not going to want for anything.
But as I said, we get an idea about how much the corporations control in the fact that they literally took his wife away from him.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Jonathan is taken to his ranch by the Energy Corporation's helicopter. I wouldn't want to get in that thing.
No. I mean, I don't really want to get in a normal helicopter, let alone something that didn't even have a tail thing on it.
That comes back later on.
If that's the future.
I don't want any part of it.
Yeah. His girlfriend has been given orders that she too is to leave. God, poor Jonathan. He tells her to go make him something to eat.
This is Pamela Hensley, isn't it? It's like, no one's kicking her out of that.
He then goes to tell her to make him something to eat because he's he's come a long way home and he's hungry. Those were the days. He then goes out to spar with Cletus for a bit before dinner and drinks and some pills. And we're told about the corporate wars and how things were different before they came on board. Jonathan asks about the corporate wars, but Cletus tells him no one talks about that anymore. He tells him he tells him that he thinks something's going on with the game and that they want him to quit. He asks Cletus if he could do some digging.
So we've got the old hand kind of...
Yeah.
I don't think they set it up as well, but clearly he's the mentor character. Maybe he was the star before him, but they don't really sort of say who he was. He's just there and he's helping.
He's now an executive.
You almost expect him to get some chickens out for Jonathan to chase around.
Yeah, well, at one point, you do wonder if he is like the caretaker or something at the start, but that might be a deliberate play on the audience. But you get that whole thing. You get the scene. There was a before time that Cletus remembers, but Jonathan doesn't, and he just wants Pamela Hensley to go, which no one did in the 70s. It's weird. But it sets up the truth is out there, doesn't it?
It does.
Sort of the smoking man and all that.
Yeah.
Right then. So the team have a practice session, and Jonathan gives the new recruits the lowdown on how to behave in a game, including how it might be necessary to take out opponents using a range of different methods. A new recruit, Tuffley, isn't listening, and he asks him to show him how he can take him out. So Jonathan swipes him off his feet and tries attacking him from behind. Moonpie and Jonathan then visit a library where Jonathan asks to order some books, but is told that the computer has summarized them and can only have the edited versions. The only copies are in Geneva in the Great Library. He reiterates the fact that he thinks something's going on. Moonpie, though, tells him not to worry and that the corporation are going to look after him. So again, physical copies should be kept, people. Just saying.
I have to say, at the entire film, she's the worst bit of acting.
Okay.
She got that role somehow, didn't she?
Yeah.
Then we go back at the ranch, and after a horse ride, Jonathan returns home and watches a film montage of his ex on the TV screens dotted in every room. And then he finds a new girl called Daphne waiting for him, who I think at this point was Mrs. John Cleese.
Yeah.
I believe. I've forgotten the actress's name now. Oh, no, I haven't. It's Barbara Trentham. Good old notes. Yeah, so, but that's quite handy. You kick one out, there's another one there when you come home.
Yeah.
The corporation...
technically, he didn't kick her. He didn't kick her out. It's like the corporation have told me to go, and he's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, but he's not worried.
No, he's not bothered by it. Well, no, because he's only got eyes for his ex.
And at the end of the day, he's a player.
Yeah, he's a star.
This is the 70s.
That's how you're done.
In 2018.
Yeah, but it gives you that thing of the corporation, the control they have. They're even controlling the
attachments or lack of attachments,
the attachments or whatever, the private lives of their stars. So we wonder how deep this goes. So, but it's good. The library thing at the start, again, I get it, but they don't really explain why he suddenly wants to go to the library, though, do they?
Yeah, so
it's all you just have to it's all inferred.
Yeah,
because he wants to know about the corporate wars and he wants to understand basically life prior to the corporation.
And they didn't have internet.
No, didn't see that one coming.
But
did he?
I just think for all the bit they do, I don't know.
I think they could have made more of it.
Yeah. Made a thing of it.
And
yeah,
I think that's one of the threads
more.
that goes through the rest of the film as we go through it. Is they could have made much more of the corporate wars, which would have been interesting, and also it gets a bit repetitive. I think something's going on with the game, and they want me out, but I don't know why, and I'm going to find out why. But yeah, all right, go on then.
And they don't. Oh, now we get to that.
Anyway, yeah.
But again, just on a sidebar, I watched the making of it, and there was an interesting bit with the director, and he was talking about with the reviews. He said in America, it got reviewed as a violent sports film of the future. He said in all the European reviews were what a work of art it was, and the in depth and the corporation and all that. He said so all the bits. Everyone reviewed the opposite bits. America focused on the rollerball bits, whereas all the European reviews were on about the corporations and the libraries and all that sort of stuff. And he said it was like it was two different films, depending where you went.
Yeah, that's 100%, because for me, the rollerball's secondary to the plot.
Yeah.
The actual game
it's
itself.
It's just the backdrop, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the device that tells the story.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me.
Yep.
Sorry. Bloody hell, Paul. Give me a big enough bit to read. Jesus.
Well, I thought I waffled on enough at the start, so I'd give
Christ
you guys
almighty.
a bit to come back with.
War and peace here. Right, okay. Strap in. Right. The coach tells the team some of the new rule changes with limited substitutions and how they're going to have to change tactics. It's going to be rougher, but the team with power will win. Jonathan asks why everyone else has been asked to play with the new rules, but he's been asked to quit. Rusty says he doesn't know, but tells Jonathan he should just do as he's told. We move on to Jonathan working with the production company on developing his TV show with all his career highlights. Do rollerball players see themselves as a class apart? And is given...
He's then given his retirement speech.
Okay. I thought there was going to be an answer to that. I don't know why. And he's given his retirement speech. Daphne is with him and he starts asking her questions about her past assignments. We get up close as he leaves Mr. B watching him from the wings. Next day of training and the team review Tokyo's techniques and blows.
Was Sam?
Yeah. I know. Yeah, that was
Robert
It's Sam. Moon Pie doesn't want to listen. Don't get that would be in my head and I'll start quoting the bloody opening credits again. Moon Pie doesn't want to listen to that advice and tries to talk over the coach. Rules or no rules, Houston are going to win. Tokyo's going down. Cue the chants of Houston. Moon Pie arrives to a drinks evening where the execs are studying and talking about the rollerball players. Jonathan arrives to applause. He sees Maggie and tells him it's his night. She's with an executive now. Cletus tries to find out if anyone knows about the rule changes as people do weird slow dancing. Mr. B arrives. Some execs tell how Evan is out as arranged by the crocodile. Everyone gathers... What?
Yeah. So Evans is out and that's been arranged by the crocodile.
That's the E in Jonathan, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the only time, isn't it, he gets a surname. So it's like...
Everyone gathers to watch Jonathan's programme with highlights of him disposing numerous opposition players. A dishevelled Moon Pie returns. Maggie is outside crying. Cletus takes him aside and tells him something's going on, but no one knows anything. But they want him out. The exec directors want him out and aren't happy with Mr. B because he couldn't get him to retire. The echelons of power are frightened of him for some unknown reason. Oh, I've still got more. The last of the party goers are watching replays or lounging around high on whatever those tablets are they keep taking. Jonathan meets Mr. B in the study as some of the guests roam around the grounds with a gun. Mr. B tells Jonathan that no player is greater than the game. He tells Jonathan that he's not to play against Tokyo or ever again. Jonathan wants concessions. The partygoers start shooting trees with high-powered handguns. Jonathan wants to see his ex-wife again. Jonathan says he's going to play, and Mr. B can't stop him, god damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was all that random just shooting trees? What was all that about?
It was the rich thing, and then the woman sort of being upset with what she's done because, you know, it's just spoiled rich people doing stupid shit because they can.
I was half expecting them to shoot a random passerby.
Yeah.
And then start laughing about it or something.
What's her name? Who's the lady from Superman 2? the three aliens that are like Superman.
Yeah, I know the one you
in
mean.
black.
I know you mean.
Sarah.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
She's at the party.
Oh, is she?
Only for a bit, but obviously a bit before her time. She doesn't get any lines, so I was like, oh, and then she's gone again. It's like, but yeah, it's very much. This is where Moon Pie is like the Jonathan that's following the system, isn't he? Now,
Yeah.
now we're getting that kind of. They're best friends, but it's like the.
But he's happy to do as he's told.
Yeah.
And he just wants the pills.
He's just
He
a grunt.
enjoys
He just
life.
wants the
Yeah.
He wants
And the
what
girls.
he's brought into the
Two at
whole
a
thing.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must admit, they've got an all right life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you survive that long, yeah. It's one of those careers you survive in that business. The rewards are plenty, but a lot of people aren't. Like Moon Pie or Jonathan, they're not that tough. Oh,
Yeah.
They don't have that power.
And at this point, all they do is ask him to retire. It's not like a Soylent Green affair where, all retired players just suddenly disappear.
Yeah.
And we
'cause
never hear
He's not going to
about
end up
them
in the
again.
locker.
Cletus is still hanging out. Isn't
Exactly.
He?
So you expect Jonathan to go, all right, can I maybe do commentating? Turn up at Saturday morning
It's
show.
really lacking that at the moment. I've got an idea.
But yeah, it's just continuing with the fact that the corporation are, in control. Jonathan better do as they're told, or else. And something's going on.
And we get hints
Just
as
no one knows
well
what.
of the dissent within the corporations as well,
Yeah.
because they don't like Mr. B, the crocodile, because he couldn't get Johnny E out or whatever it is, Evans out and all that. So you get like you get a hint of it, but then it's never really mentioned again much. It's just sort of, yeah.
Right, anyway, next day, Jonathan's getting ready to leave. Daphne says she wants to go with him and that he should do as he's told. As if we hadn't heard that before. He threatens Daphne with his rollerball glove and tells the helicopter pilot that he's going to travel with the team.
Well, he looks at the helicopter and he goes, nah, exactly what you said earlier.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of this is because he doesn't necessarily trust travelling on his own anymore in case he doesn't make it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I kind of read into it. But if he travels with the team, he'll get there.
And the fact it looked even more like the 66 Batcopter. Just plastic.
They arrive for the Tokyo game, and Moon Pie tells reporters that they'll win because Tokyo is full of little guys. Jonathan and Moon Pie get a message of sorts, as he says again he wants to know why they're trying to get rid of him, and he might have to go to one of them computer centers. The Houston-Tokyo game begins again to the corporate anthem. Tokyo players size up the Houston team, so while this is going on, they're basically giving them looks.
Yeah, this is my point from earlier. Cobra Kai owe this team a lot.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's where they got that from. Because they're not even like Japanese colours or anything, are they? So it's like the black and yellow. Sorry, I'm cutting on you. That was the bit I was trying to get out earlier on.
It's fine. So the Tokyo players are basically sizing up who within Houston they're going to take out. They bow to the team, and then the game begins. At this point, we're reminded that there are limited substitutions and no penalties. So basically, if you take someone out, you're not going to get penalised for it. The team circle the arena, and the first ball is fired. Tokyo take the ball, and the team start fighting. Houston defend, but Tokyo score. Tokyo steal the second ball, and Houston then form a wall. Tokyo break through, but the Houston biker takes out the Tokyo player. The next period starts, and Houston try to score. Moon Pie takes out a bike and other players, and Jonathan scores an equaliser. He and Moon Pie celebrate as players are taken off the track. So,
so we're really getting... goes by on fire.
Yeah.
At this point, Moon Pie gets taken down.
Yeah.
As Tokyo start playing rough, Jonathan grabs a player's leg and his head ends up in the ball track, and it gets fired, knocking him out. Yeah, that was a bit brutal. The Tokyo team descend on Moon Pie again, and more fighting breaks out, and then Jonathan's taken off. The Tokyo team gang up on Moon Pie, beating him without his helmet. He's brought off the track motionless. Jonathan sees this and then takes to the track. He pairs up with a motorbike rider and waits at the top of the arena. He attacks a Tokyo player and gets his revenge. He steals the ball and scores. A Tokyo rider crashes over a downed Houston player and lands in the crowd. All hell breaks loose at this point. A Houston rider is then taken out and his bike explodes. Actually, yeah, a number of the bikes just explode. They're a death trap. That's the end of the game. After the game, Jonathan goes to the hospital and visits Moon Pie, who's in a coma. It falls with Jonathan to sign for his release as no one else can do it. But he refuses. But they still airlift Moon Pie away.
No, they're going to turn him off, aren't they? And he was
Yeah.
like, no.
Yeah, that's the release clause.
Yeah.
Sign for them basically to turn the machine off because I think he's dreaming or something. He says, and he's like,
Well,
there's brain activity, but it's not. It doesn't mean he's alive.
I thought they said he was brain dead.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's what I said. They're like,
Right.
turn him off, and he doesn't, and he keeps him at his house.
I just want you to know, Brett, anything like that happens, I've got my little Cinderella vault waiting for you. No, Sleeping Beauty vault waiting for you in the garage.
Just switch me off.
It was just weird. And the fact that the doctor was, what was his name in the Pink Panther?
Doesn't matter.
He jumps out on him.
Kato.
Kato, yes. Yeah, and that was just weird. But I guess working British actors, isn't it? It's over here.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm still trying to work out what bit was filmed at Forley as well, because some of it was filmed at Forley.
Was it?
But I don't know what bit it was, because none of it looked like Forley.
Excuse me. There was originally a lot of concrete structures in Forley, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's some of the sort of brutalist
it could be.
architecture stuff that you see.
But but it's
because it's been demolished and rebuilt so many times.
And poor old Moon Pie.
Yeah, a bit predictable. We could kind of see something something bad was going to happen to him. Obviously, it wasn't going to
His
happen.
car was marked from the first scene.
Yeah.
The other dude whose name I forgot, the other black guy, he got taken it because they were kind of the main top three, weren't they?
Yeah.
And he got smashed out. And again, actually, which they don't never explain, but that little light where it dimmers and goes out, is that when the player's been killed, or is that just when they're off the pitch?
I think it's supposed to be just when they're off the pitch, because I'm sure in the earlier games, when they cut to taking someone off the pitch, that light changes.
Yeah, it's a bit like the Hunger Games where the cannon goes off. It's just but yeah, the end of Moon Pie, and now we've got our hero with nothing left to lose. Really,
so obviously he's going to retire at this point, and
everyone will live happily ever after.
And because he needs to look after Moon Pie.
Yeah, who he's got in his shed.
You're my best friend, George.
We hadn't seen it yet, but he's got a sex dungeon.
Anyway,
Moon Pie is just swinging from the rafters.
It'd be like what Weekend at Bernie's. It'll still get the two girls come to visit him.
Yeah.
Weekend at
He just won't need the
Moonpie's.
pill to get it up anymore.
That should be the sequel where Moon Pie wakes up and it's like,
And he just has a fantastic weekend.
your son's an elf.
Anyway, sorry, carry on.
But
Brett.
anyway, we cut back and Mr. B is on a video conference discussing Jonathan and what should be done about him. Jonathan cannot be seen as being more important than the game, and it's decided by the committee that Jonathan must lose the next game. So Jonathan arrives in Geneva in search for the truth. He is greeted by men in lab coats and banks of computers and is taken to a secure library room where he meets the librarian. He explains how things keep getting lost all the time, like the 13th century and the computers that hold them. I did look out. There were a lot of revolutions in the 13th century, so I don't know if that's why. I was just had a look through what happened in the 13th century. Obviously, there's a reason it was the 13th century, but that seemed to be the main...
Yeah, that's when there's a kind of natural cut over between what used to be sort of the Dark Ages to the Enlightenment and all that, and it's
But it was
it's a kind of grey area of where we don't really know what happened.
There's a lot of people building empires and the gangs.
And then things being destroyed and you know, once one empire takes over another, they destroyed all their libraries, all their records, all their art, etc., etc. So it's
that,
all, and most of that happened between sort of 10 and 14.
So that would be the thing of it.
I don't know how I know this shit. I failed history. Podcasts, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Rollerball.
So lots of things are getting lost. The 13th century details have all been lost, and the computers that hold them, and it's Zero's fault. Zero, you say? No, not the Terrahawk. Zero is the world's largest computer with all of its knowledge. Basically, their internet. Jonathan asks about the corporate wars.
Without the porn.
Yeah. The librarian says that Zero can tell him all. So we meet Zero, and he's a large box kind of full of water and liquid. And he asks Zero how corporate decisions are made. Zero says negative. The librarian kicks Zero, but to no avail. He should have tried the old faithful turn it off and on again reboot technique instead, maybe. So, yeah, Zero will not give many answers. The librarian's angry, and Jonathan ends up returning home with no answers after all that setup. His ex-wife is waiting for him now, and they sit and talk about how he stalked her on the odd occasion. She tells him, yeah, I was going through your bins the other day. She tells him of her son and her new life, which she really wanted to hear about. Yeah. Then they go riding, and she tells him how the corporate execs just want some control over their lives, but look after everyone in return. They reacquaint themselves, talk about deep things, like how conflict is freedom, and how they want him to quit. She tells him he needs to quit now, and the next game has no substitutions, and there's no time limit. He walks off into the woods. There we get another montage as she's standing right in front of him, and then he gets all angry and deletes the file of her. I think mainly because he realises she's been sent there and she doesn't really love him.
I love that bit. He's literally watching the film montage of her as she stood right there.
Yeah. And then he deletes it.
Yeah, stalk her much.
And then he goes to visit Moon Pie, who he keeps in his spare room now in a tank, and says goodbye before heading out for the final game. Yeah, there's not a lot of entertainment in this future, is there?
No.
You can either play with your dead friends in the tank,
or watch a montage of the exes.
Yeah, watch video footage of your exes, or ride a horse.
Although, to be fair to him, he could take the red pill, literally, and just take pills and have drinks and have lots of sex with lots of different women, and the corporation will let him off. But no, he wants to keep getting beaten up.
He's a man of morals and character.
Yeah. I guess the interesting thing is we're told, look, the next game, the corporation have basically rigged it so that there's no penalties, no fouls, no subs, no time limit. Yeah. It's a death match.
You're going to die. But he's going to take it. He's going to go out. He's going to butcher Sundance it. Yep. He says goodbye to Sundance Moon Pie, and he heads all butch out.
Off to his blaze of glory.
Yeah.
If you heard that on camera, that was the chair.
No one believes you.
Doesn't
Fair
smell
enough.
like the chair.
Why are you smelling his chair?
Yeah, how do you know what my chair smells like?
Oh, no, it's not the chair that I can smell.
Right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
New York hosts the final game. A stern-faced Mr. B takes his seat as Jonathan preps in his dressing room. He skates past his teammates in the locker room, puts on his helmet and skates out, followed a little while after by the rest of the team. Everyone on the planet seems to be watching the game as the streets and cities are deserted. The New York team take to the track. The test ball is fired. The announcer states there's a rule change of no substitutions, no penalties, and no time limit.
Now there's an announcer.
Yeah. The first ball is fired. New York take the ball, and instantly there's spills and thrills. Number 6 tries to score, but Jonathan takes him down. One by one, players are dropping like flies. A New York player drags a Houston player around the track. More players go down, and a lone Jonathan almost gets ridden over, but he manages to recover. Bodies lay all over the track, and even the medics get taken out as they try to recover the wounded. 2 bikers tussle, and a bike crashes and explodes. The crowd is silent as it's Jonathan and 2 New York players left, one with a motorbike. They talk tactics as Jonathan skates around the track. He stops by Mr. B. I thought he was going to say something. He stops by Mr. B, the New York attacker, and Jonathan takes... The New York player attacked and Jonathan takes him down in front of the corporate box. He picks up the rollerball. The rider attacks, and Jonathan takes him down. He holds up the ball to hit the player, but he stops. The crowd goes silent. He removes his helmet and slowly walks to the goal and scores. Everyone starts chanting, "Jonathan!
Jonathan! 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 Jonathan!"
as he takes a victory lap, or two, around all the bodies lying on the floor. The film pauses on a close-up of his face as Bach's toccata in D minor begins to play. The end. Something we haven't mentioned is that weird guy that's always hanging around Mr. B.
What, his underling?
Yeah. Because at this point, because it keeps cutting to him during this match, and he's there going, he wants to cheer on Jonathan, but he knows he can't. But he's been a little weird guy throughout the film, and doesn't really do anything.
Yeah. Maybe he's excited because if Mr. B goes, maybe he's next in the
maybe,
scene.
Yeah.
Could be, yeah.
So he's like, he's messed up now. Or is he changing the minds of the corporation with his success or whatever?
No, that's the problem. It doesn't really go into that, does it?
No. It doesn't really go into anything, to be fair.
Well, let's talk about that end last scene.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So again, I don't think there was too much surprise in the fact that Jonathan won. Literally won the whole game.
It was
and
a nice
survived.
touch that he doesn't need to kill, but again, we've seen that in everything since any gladiatory film.
Again,
it's not even. You're not even talking because this is the 70s. It's not. It wouldn't have been new then either. It's not. It's a trope that dates back to, the earliest of films.
But a load of good action.
Maybe not the birth of a nation, but
where we knew it was going to end. It feels a bit like Mean Machine with Burt Reynolds.
Yeah,
that was probably slightly a few years after that.
This was a trendy end at the time.
Yeah,
they did the same. Capricorn 1 ends exactly the same.
Yeah,
when it's the funeral and they think he's dead because all the astronauts died, and then he comes running back on because they've been trying to stop him getting back to his wife, and then as he gets on camera. So they know he's not dead. So the government lied about them landing on Jupiter or whatever it was, Mars, whatever it was. And then the cameras go, "Oh my God, he's alive!" And the cameras pan round, and he stood there, and then it ends.
Bit like Silo.
It's that was a thing at the time. I think they liked the sort of the cliffhanger ending. I think that was a style.
Right, go on then. Let's go through opinions. Damien.
Okay. So, I had definitely seen this before. I think I probably enjoyed it that time round more than I did this time. I honestly got bored. Very bored, in fact. So bored that I had it on the telly on my on the big screen there behind. Well, the screen's not behind you now because I've rolled it up. But I had it on that screen, and I was playing a guitar at the same time because I was just bored.
Were you playing Bach's toccata in D minor?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, I was going to say I'd be impressed with that.
So,
do you want to elaborate a bit more? Or is that
that's kind of
that's fair enough. There's no wrongs or right. Okay, Brett.
I get I'll carry on. Sorry,
okay.
I get what the film's trying to do.
Yeah,
and there's some really good kind of ambiguity when it comes to, like we've said it, is Mr. B a good guy, bad guy? Is the corporation, is its reach too far? Is it actually for the greater good? Blah blah blah, all that. But what really annoyed me and where I got really pissed off was, which we already touched on. He goes all the way to Geneva. We're going to find out about the Clone Wars. Then we're going to find out about the corporate wars. No, we don't.
Yeah,
we don't find out shit. So,
and it's
just
not even made out. Like, if they don't want to tell us, that's cool. But make a thing of like, why can't I find anything out about this?
Yeah.
It's been deleted because it's just it's not there. Okay.
Yeah, he kicks the bucket thing a couple of times, and then it's like no. So yeah, what they seemed to struggle to do was balance the action of Rollerball with the
politics.
But the politics and the actual
the dystopia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is supposed to be, it's even billed on the synopsis in a dystopian future, but actually it's not really looking that dystopian, because outside of Rollerball, everyone seems quite happy.
Yeah.
You're not getting any. There's no.
We don't see the poor people.
No, there's no establishing that there's tiers of society, and you got the execs, you're the rollerballers, for want of a better word. And then you're nothing. You don't see any of that because the people in the crowd, they're having a fucking whale of a time.
Yeah.
They're loving it. So if they're, destitute and on their ass, maybe they wouldn't be loving Rollerball as much as they do. I don't know.
Well, no, I think they do, but I think it's that they are the heroes now, and that's what they feed the people to entertain them. But of course, Matey's getting a bit too big for his boots now, so they need Jonathan out of the way.
Yeah, but you're not seeing the.
But we don't see the
Yeah.
or even like that one kid who wants to be a rollerball for the sequel.
Yeah, why don't have like little like a matchstick girl clinging onto the fence, watching Longley in ragged clothes while she's eating a loaf of bread.
Okay, Brett.
A similar thing, really. The dystopian, I love a dystopia, but it kind of starts
I don't think
off.
you're supposed to love dystopian.
Yeah, you know
Get that on a t-shirt.
But,
I love a dystopia.
I love a good dystopia. We're our own one now.
True.
Yes, it's quite scary how it has become real life, give or take the actual Rollerball, because most of the rest of it's come true, and that's why we need physical copies of Blu-rays, DVDs, and books. And that sort of thing. That proves there the dangers that lie ahead of us as we abandon physical copies. But it kind of like, you get that Logan's Run vibe with the track and all that. But like I say, you see nothing of that society apart from him at his house and him at a party. You see, and a meeting. I don't think you see any, a changing room with far too many ass shots that weren't needed.
It was the 70s.
Yeah,
that's true. But again, was that enough for the audience in the 70s? Was it like, that's all we need to get the hang of this? Or do audiences nowadays, not that we need it spout out for us, but we just expect more in our film nowadays? It's in the future whether it's bad, and they were happy with that. Whereas nowadays, everyone needs to know like the backstory of every character and.
No, I don't think it's that. I think.
See,
I don't either. I'm just arguing.
No, I know what you mean, but I think if anything, audiences now are more enlightened when it comes to what, and don't need things explained to them.
Yeah.
It's
you could
not
almost be more clever, couldn't you, nowadays?
Yeah, exactly. It's not that you're not understanding what's going on. You just want to see it. It's not you don't get it because it's all inferred. It's, you automatically understand that there's a class system going on because it's there in glorious Technicolor.
Yeah.
But to actually feel
more bright orange.
Yeah. To feel engaged in Jonathan's fight, you need to see the poverty.
Yeah, because he's not the nicest person either,
no.
really.
Exactly. This is it. This is the thing. It's partly why I got a bit bored, because you don't really care that much about whether he retires or not.
Worried about wanting his wife back.
No.
It's like...
Well, he had the montage to watch.
Yeah, like, you took my wife. Then when he meets right.
Yeah.
And just to back you up here, one of the issues I had, the issue I had with this film is, and we've mentioned some of the similar dystopian future films like Logan's Run, Fahrenheit 451, even some of the new ones like Viva Vendetta and even Equilibrium. There's something going on, and all those other films manage to tell the watcher what's going on without necessarily the characters finding out until they're supposed to find out. And in some ways, they wouldn't even need to find out, but the viewer knows.
Yeah.
And
dramatic irony.
And they could have absolutely done this. They could have had, but when he was on his way to Geneva, Zero could have been going through the old films.
Deleting them.
And you could have seen all the
or someone
the
going in there and getting rid of it.
Getting rid of it, yeah.
But you didn't get that. So you're left wanting.
I'm quite happy not knowing it if that's the
If
reason,
that's the purpose.
the purpose of it.
Yeah.
And we
You
see it
don't
like,
know
and so
'cause-
we never know what it is. And then in a couple of years, they could bring out the prequel, and then we finally learn the secrets
Yeah.
of the corporate wars. Because that turned out all right. Well, we finally found out what the Clone Wars were, weren't we? But again, you don't even know that. It's yeah. This is, dare I say it, this is another case where this could be an awesome 10-episode HBO miniseries where they actually go into it properly. Again,
Yeah.
remake. It's not a bad film,
no, but
but
the
you could
film-
remake it in.
But the film could have done that.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
yeah, it had the potential to. Everyone was there.
And the amount of, not wasted shots, but there was a lot of shots to get in the future architecture and, the long walking through corridors. You could have quite easily have just replaced a lot of that stuff, that wasted space, as it were, with nuggets of information. And it could be done in such a way that it didn't ruin the film for Jonathan. But all we got a lot of the time was, there's something going on. I know there's something going on with this game. They want me out, but I don't know why. I got tired of listening
Exactly.
to that. And we could have known in the background. And maybe he never needed to have known. And maybe that was the whole point of the film. But it would have been nice to have seen some of that.
I just found 2 quotes from Norman Jewison on the DVD. When he's talking about the initial library and like the books not being there and all that sort of stuff, or note form it's got. Here is where we bring into the story, and we bring into film that knowledge and access to knowledge is controlled, much like it was controlled in Nazi Germany during World War II, or indeed the Soviet Union, where books were banned. Of course, in America. And of course, it's in America. It's happened here too, where people are prevented from finding out information that may in some way increase their opposition, perhaps to establish authority. We keep referring to something's going on. There's some sort of conspiracy to this. And it's the build to reveal Jonathan, the gladiator, is really just a cog in the wheel and being totally manipulated.
Yeah, but we know that.
Yeah, we know
We
that.
know that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when he talks about when he gets to Zero, we came up with the name Zero for the name of the computer because we felt that somehow Zero was the beginning and the end of everything. And I guess we were trying to indicate that, as you hear in this scene, that all knowledge, I think probably Kubrick's film 2001, which dealt with how actually was part of the inspiration for this scene. When you start to deal with the information stored in one place on one computer, naturally the computer must take on a kind of identity. You can see here, this is a wonderful scene, and he laughs.
No, but
You can see this
It's
is a
not.
difficult question for him. He's trying to get Zero to give some kind of information. This is where Jonathan realizes that even the computer will not reveal the certain truth that he wants about who is really in charge. So we have a society in which nobody knows really who's calling the shots, and that there's only one man questioning it, and he can't even find the answers. This is where the picture really takes off and gets a little bit emotional.
Yeah, but it doesn't. And the difference between 2001 is actually Hal is on camera for about an hour and a half of the film, and you get
And
answers
he has a
Yeah.
voice.
to it.
Yeah, because I was trying to look. Then it just goes about the actual performances. Blah, blah, blah. James Caan questions the corporation and frowns upon the face of this corporate evil. And it gets to the point where you can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. The hero goes out and wins. Society rises up and chants his name like some sort of mob.
Yeah, but they chanted his name at the end of loads of other games. So it's not like they then at the end of that
Yeah.
game...
Yeah, he hasn't
Took
won
over.
freedom for anyone, or
Exactly.
Because do they
'Cause it ends
even
on his
know-
there's
face.
no Che Guevara.
Yeah, it
'Cause
literally
do-
ends on his face.
Because
Yeah.
the
And that's
crowd
it.
themselves have no clue at anything that's gone on, have they? It's just another game of
Yeah.
Rollerball, apart from the rules have changed.
Yeah,
But again, like Running Man, where there's a purpose and the crowds do revolt and
Yeah.
they find out how,
Yeah, we know
the
what's going
evils,
on, and they do.
they find out the evils and there's an uprising. I can't believe them. Yeah, I love Running Man. But with this, again, there's nothing. You don't know what's going to happen,
No.
and maybe nothing will happen. Maybe at the end of it, they just get rid of Jonathan and he will retire. Because
Well,
let's
they
face
just
it,
stopped Rollerball, and then
Yeah.
they got rid of him totally.
his
He's
team's
not-
dead. So,
Yeah. It makes it an interesting week next time when it's just him against 20 people again.
But I can kind of see why it got slated by critics on both sides of the pond for different reasons.
Well, no, we loved it. We picked up on
but
the
that's
other
what I'm
stuff.
saying.
No, we didn't. There was a whole year in France where it stayed at cinema because it was making big bucks.
But they weren't necessarily the critics, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the critics were trying to see this as a big political, statement.
Yeah.
Missing out on the action sequences. But again, how could they give it decent reviews when not enough was being said? And
because they go all artistic on it.
They went, Europe took the artistic route and they loved it. There wasn't bad reviews. America was like, it's a great sports film, but there's these poor bits in the middle.
These speaking bits.
It's like, But I guess it was. When was it? So
75.
we're talking. Vietnam's fresh still, isn't it? Are we even out of Vietnam at this point yet? No. So it was a very political time in America, I suppose, in world history.
But they weren't fussed about it.
But
which is the weird thing, because when I said at the start, the director wanted to bring the issues to in a way that the masses would understand.
Well, the whole story is more relatable to American culture than it is to UK.
But it sounds like it isn't,
because that's what America is built on corporation.
Yeah, but that's my point.
But we've had our fair share of revolutions, haven't we? I suppose.
Yeah, but not. So they're this is about a corporate taking over, and I mean America essentially, without trying to get too political, is basically a corporate entity. It's not a country. It's a corporate entity.
No, but that's my point. He was trying to tell the masses in America this, in similar ways that
they don't want to know, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. That's why I think that's why in the remake it's just all that's gone. It's just like 2 hours of Rollerball.
Is it?
Yeah. But I skimmed through it.
Right, go on then. Time.
Oh, I've got to get my verdict sheet up. Go on, you talk about yourselves.
Time to give our scores and our verdicts.
It's a tough call.
So whilst Damien's looking for the spreadsheet, I will come to you first, Brett.
It's a tough call because it is a seminal film. It did break a lot of ground. It is memorable. It is iconic. But it does fall short on, I think, what it wants to do. I want it, as I say, I want an HBO series out of everything. To be
yes,
fair.
you do. But week in, week out. That's what we always hear.
But it is true, though. It's got so much potential.
At least he didn't say he wants a Hallmark version.
Oh, God. Rollerball on ice.
Although some of those montages are more Hallmark than they are anything else.
But, again, it's the good story. Remake this properly. With the political shit, not just make it like an MTV highlight video, but like that other film did. And we're not even mentioning Future Sport with Dean Cain. That was a sack of shit as well. But where do I go? Did I get bored a bit? Yes, I did. But it did have genius in it. There was that dystopia stuff. There were feelings of Kubrick. There were feelings, even more Clockwork Orange than 2001 for me. But again, that sort of, you could see what he was trying to do. Sure,
I'm going to have to press you.
I know, but I think for the iconicness of it and the attempts, I think a solid 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go 7.
It's your opinion, Damien.
Yes.
Scores on the doors.
I got bored. I felt nothing for any of the characters.
Not even Moon Pie.
Not even Moon Pie. Moon Pie's a grunt. He's
that's
just
the point.
Yeah, but he's there to be a macho
fanboy
of the corporation. So kind of when he gets taken out, I didn't care. And Jonathan, all he's fighting for is the fact that he doesn't want to retire, and he thinks there's something going on being forced to retire. It's not like he's being
because he doesn't even know why. Cause
he's not heading up the Tooting popular front.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah.
No, because they kind of explain that he's getting too popular and people will, individualism they don't want. They want everyone to just be like corporate-y and just follow and not be sheep. But he's inspired them to stand up for themselves, be individuals.
But he doesn't give a shit about that.
He doesn't know that at all, does he?
No, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So I don't I couldn't have given a shit one way or the other of whether he retired, got his fingers chopped off during Rollerball, or exploded in a ball of flames into a motorbike. So, and I got bored, so I'm giving it a 4.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I liked a lot of the film. I did like the Rollerball sequences. I thought they tried to do a good job of, you know, like making it a sports film. You know, as we mentioned earlier, they could have explained the rules from the very first match or whatever they call it. I like the fact that you had James Caan as the lead, and it was the 70s, so you didn't have to be Arnie to be a tough guy. Yeah, you could be like a Steve McQueen or a Burt Reynolds, and you could still win.
Yeah.
And you could even have hair on your back and shoulders. And
he had hair. Just going, there was no line of demarcation. It just started somewhere and went all over.
Yeah,
a bit like me, really.
I don't want to say it. No, but I like the fact that he was an everyday or a hero that everyday men could relate to. And even now, you know, he as I said, he's not
with a nice selection of hats.
Yeah. I liked where they were trying to go. But for all the reasons that we've said, they could have actually explained the corporate wars to the watcher. They could have explained a bit more the rationale about why they wanted Jonathan out. And if I'm honest, they could have gone a step further, and Jonathan could have been a revolutionary character and actually met the people.
Yeah.
And met the underground, the resistance, something like that, and led that. You know, we've seen that so many times and so many really good films.
Even just done a bit where like he steps out the stadium at the end and all the people are running up towards him like a Messiah-y kind of thing. And then just cut it there.
But you'd need the background about how people are being repressed in their daily lives, and you don't see that. And
also, I reckon they wouldn't even know, because I bet in the bit they're in, they don't even know there are poor people or something like that.
But that's what I mean. The only real people that you see are the fans outside the stadiums cheering him on, and they all look normal. They're not like dishevelled. They're not wearing rags.
Exactly.
Everyone's just there to watch them. So I think it misses the mark of where it could have been quite easily made into a great 9, 10 out of 10. I can't give it that, and I'm going to go for a 7. It's one of the, and we say this often until we're blue in the face. It's got so much potential. And I got a lot of time for where it could have been. But also, I can't forgive it because of the fact that you had the likes of, not Soylent Green, Logan's Run, Fahrenheit 451.
Well, I don't use the red, like Running Man, all that
Huxley
stuff.
One?
The what one?
Brave New World.
Oh, yeah.
All these kind of stuff, which was of the time, that managed to do it in a lot.
They all have an emotional pull.
Yeah.
I'm no fan of Logan's Run. I'm not. I know. I get it. I understand why it's that iconic, but I think it's just more him. I forgot the guy's name now.
Michael York.
So I really like that.
Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with the film, but even that has an emotional pull to it.
Yeah.
But this Rollerball just doesn't. There's no one in that film that you want to root for, apart from maybe the Mr. B's lackey, just because of his little face at the end.
There's just no payoff for the audience.
No.
Okay, yeah. So cool. 7 for me. So where does this?
So that leaves it. So that gives it a grand total of 18. It puts it 0.5 above frequently asked questions about time travel, which is on obviously 17.5, but it's on joint score of 18 with Mallrats, Shaolin Soccer, and Scanners.
Okay, no,
that's about right for it. I think.
Yeah. Cool.
I mean, it's above. It's probably
above
what
Extra.
joint 33. It's above. It is above Extra. It's above Life Force. It's above Jesus Shows You the Way to Highway.
Good.
It's above Cable Guy. It's above Greasy Strangler by 1.5. That classic that you loved.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, cool.
That's good.
So
Fair
again,
enough.
mixed opinions,
Rollerball.
but the film deserves mixed opinions, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so at this point, before we start shutdown proceedings, it's our choice, well, it's Damien's choice, I believe,
Yes.
to pick a film that we're going to put our spotlight on in a couple of weeks. Remember, viewers, watchers, listeners, if you've got a film choice that you want to bypass one of our election weeks or nomination weeks, do obviously contact us. We'll give out the details about how you can contact us when we
or drop it in the
streaming.
comments.
Write it down there.
So Damien, what's our choice for 2 weeks' time?
Your choice for 2 weeks' time. This is an interesting one. I've got 2 films in my head, so I think I'm going to give you an option. I'm just trying to think of the best way to phrase the option.
What about if we pick a year?
I was just going to do. I was going to say that. So either 2003 or 2018.
Ooh.
So, by our standards, both relatively recent.
It's not anymore.
2018, to be fair, isn't that far.
It's relatively recent.
I'm feeling 2003. What do you think, Paul?
Isn't that a song lyric?
Probably.
It sounds like a Will.i.am. Yeah. Anyway, I'll go on.
Drinking 2016, but feeling 2003.
The 2008.
Yeah, like so 2003. Yeah, I can just hear Will.i.am's voice. Yeah, I'll go 2003 with that.
Okay.
Just to make life easy.
Fair
as opposed to saying no. 2018.
Okay, in that case, we are looking at John Cusack, Ray Liotta, Amanda Peet, Pruitt Taylor Vince, John C. McKinley, and Alfred Molina. Identity.
Oh, don't know this one at all, don't think.
No?
I've probably seen it, but the name doesn't ring a bell right now because I'm all rollerballed out. But it's got John Cusack in it, so I must have seen it.
You must have seen
And
it.
Dr. Octopus.
And Dr. Octopus. Yeah.
Doc Ock.
And John C. McKinley.
Yeah.
Who was the lady's name?
Amanda Peet.
Is that the one who's like, we got move, any one of ya?
I don't know, actually.
Okay, so what's this on?
It is available to rent and presumably buy on Amazon Prime Video. It's on Apple. It's on Sky Store.
Cool.
All the usual places.
So if you're playing along at home, watch that over the next couple of weeks, and we will obviously do our spotlight episode on that in 2 weeks' time. Okay, so it's time to start the shutdown proceedings.
It might be, but what's it called again?
Identity.
So that's Identity, John Cusack, 2003.
I'm just typing it in because I'll forget.
Okay, so
I don't want to watch the wrong John Cusack film.
this has been episode 129 of the Cult Faction podcast. Don't forget, we've got a wealth and breadth of content on our mothership, which can be found at Brett.
Cultfaction.com.
So obviously we're on YouTube, we're on all the different streaming services. Please do like and subscribe, if you will, by clicking on one of those buttons down there. You can also leave us feedback and comments, which we will review on any of those different platforms. But if you want to contact us in the old-fashioned email way, Damien, how can they get hold of us?
They can do that via cultfactionpodcast@mail.com.
So the only thing left is to say thank you again for taking the time out of your busy day to watch or listen to us. I have been your host for tonight, and I'm been mainly Paul Hawkins, and I've been
For the
joined
most part.
by
Brett Summers.
and
Damien Hicks.
that's a good night, good day, farewell, adieu from me.
Auf Wiedersehen. Guten Abend. Good Nacht.
Get your skates on. It's rollerball time.
Superman.